Welcome back, students of class 10. Today we are going to look at a section that discusses tropic movements in plant. In our previous day's video, we had discussed the different nastic movements that we see in plants. Today we are going to look at some tropic movements that we see in plants. What is the difference between tropic movement and nastic movement? Tropic movement happens based on the stimulus. It is related to the direction of the stimulus. So a tropic movement can happen towards a stimulus or opposite to a stimulus. वो either stimulus के और plant को बढ़ा के लेके जाता है या उससे दूर भगा के लेके जाता है. That is what the difference between a tropic movement is. Remember, in case of nastic movement, the movement was not towards or away the stimulus. अगर आप एक मिमोसा पुडिका प्लांट को नॉर्थ से टच करें तो वो साउथ के और पत्ते नहीं बंद कर लेते हैं, या साउथ से टच करेंगे तो भी वो ईस्ट की तरह नहीं मुड़ता है. No matter in which direction you touch a plant of mimosa from, it always folds in its leaves in the same direction, right? So that is the difference between a nastic movement and a tropic movement. Now in the tropic movement, there are two types of movements. The first movement is when the plant moves towards the stimulus. It is called positive tropism or positive tropic movement. Means you have a stimulus. The stimulus is coming from the east and the plant is also moving towards the east. Then it is said to be positive tropism. But if it goes opposite to the stimulus, then it is said to be negative tropism. Like if the stimulus is coming from the west and the plant is going in the east, then it is said to be negative tropism. Okay, so in the plant movement, there are different types of tropic movements that are related to different types of stimulus. One of the first types of such stimulus is light. The movement with relation to light is called phototropism. Phototropism is very important in plants because you know that plants produce their food by photosynthesis. So it helps a plant's shoot to grow towards light. The plant's apical parts of the plant always go towards light, means they are positively phototropic. The apical parts of the plant के जो ऊपर के हिस्से होते हैं, they are always positively phototropic. You can understand it if you keep a plant in the shade close to a window. अगर आप एक पौधे को एक टब में लेके विंडो के आसपास थोड़ा शेड में रख देंगे तो देखिएगा कि कुछ दिन बाद वो धीरे धीरे लाइट के ओर बेंड हो जाता है. It bends itself towards this light. This is what is called positive phototropism, because in this case the upper part of the plant goes towards the source of the light. Another type of stimulus is the gravity itself. Earth has a gravity, right? So that based on that gravity, it can act as a stimulus for plant growth. This type of tropic movement is called geotropism. Geotropism is seen in case of roots. Remember, roots need nutrient and water coming from the soil. So it helps the root if it can grow further deeper into the soil. This is called positive geotropism, which is seen in roots. Opposite happen in the shoots. Shoots are negatively geotropic. They tend to move away from the soil and towards the light. So shoots are positively phototropism and they are negatively geotropic. One feature can be both. It can be both factors play a role in the growth of shoot, as we will see in the root also, as root not only depends on the gravity but also on the water. The movement based on the stimulus of water is called hydrotropism. Roots are more hydrotropic actually than they are geotropic. Roots actually go down because of the stimulus of water. This can be seen easily by the experiment that is shown in your book. Okay, like if you keep a small seed and if you keep the water and above the layer of the soil, then the seed goes below, and then the root part gets below, and then the root turns back and moves towards the water again, because roots are positively hydrotropic. They are positively hydrotropic. They always move towards the water. Okay. Another type of tropism that is seen in plants, or another type of tropic movement seen in plant, is Kamotropism. That certain plant parts grow by getting attracted towards certain chemicals. Certain plant parts move towards certain chemicals. For example, during fertilization, do you remember the fertilization that you had read in earlier classes? The movement of the pollen when it moves through the pollen tube in towards the ovary, towards the ovule, that happens due to some chemicals that are present in the ovule. The pollen gets attracted to the ovule by the presence of these different chemicals. The last type of tropic movement that we are going to learn today is called Thigmotropism. In Thigmotropism, the stimulus is touch. Certain creepers, like we had discussed in nastic movement yesterday, creepers grow around certain bodies. In that case, some of what is called Thigmotropism, because it depends on the touch. Remember that video, that whenever that creeper, the top part of the plant came in touch with a solid object, it started wrapping around itself. So this is an example of Thigmotropism. Read these different movements very carefully, and if you have any question, feel free to ask. Thank you.